Alright, hey guys, so we're going to do another read aloud. I'm going to read chapter 3 and 4 of Arthur Makes the Team. Arthur stood in front of the bedroom mirror, tossing a ball up and down in his mitt. His father stopped in the hall to watch him. "Are you ready for your next practice, Arthur?" he asked. Arthur dropped the ball. Yeah, he said. Mr. Reed stepped into the room. "Is everything okay?" I guess. Practices have been hard." "Really? Tell me about them." "I'm not very comfortable yet. The other day I was playing second base. I fielded a sharp grounder, but I couldn't get it out of my glove. It was like the ball was stuck with glue." "What did you do?" his father asked. "Well, there was a force on at second, so I took off the glove and threw it to the shortstop who was covering the bag." "Was the throw in time?" Arthur sighed. "The glove was, but the ball came out along the way and dribbled into the outfield. The runner ended up at third base." "What did the coach say?" asked Mr. Reed. "He said I was ingenious, very creative. He used words like that a lot when I make a play." Mr. Reed sat down on the bed. "The coach has a good eye, Arthur. You just need to give it a little time." Arthur wasn't so sure. "Everyone else just seems so far ahead of me. And I feel funny asking for help about stuff that everybody else knows already." "Yes, well, most of them played last year and you didn't. Having a head start makes a difference. I had kind of the same thing happen to me." "You did?" Arthur's father nodded. "It was when I first got interested in cooking. Of course, I didn't know I would end up as a caterer. I just liked experimenting with food. I was sick the first week and missed the class where the teacher explained how all the equipment worked. The next week, I was too shy to ask questions, so I pretended I knew as much as everyone else." "Did it work?" Arthur asked. His father smiled. "For a few minutes, but then we had to make salad dressing in a blender. Everyone else knew that the lid needed to be locked in a certain way. I didn't. So when I turned it on..." All right, and there's a picture of Arthur and his dad. Arthur gasped. "You guessed it. The salad dressing ended up on everything and everyone else. It was quite a mess. Did you get in trouble?" His father made a face. "For a moment, I thought my life was over. The teacher was covered in goop. He shook his fist at me, and goop dripped off his hand into the floor." Arthur's mouth dropped open. The room was perfectly still, and then he started to laugh. "This," he said, "is a good example of what I was talking about last week." Arthur sighed. "So you survived?" "Exactly. I never did try to pretend I knew what I was doing again. And you shouldn't either. Don't be afraid to ask for help or advice. You'll catch up soon." All right, chapter 4. Coach Frensky was standing behind the backstop, watching his team warm up. "Excuse me, Coach." The coach turned. "I'm Buster's mother, Bitsy." "Nice to meet you. Buster's a fine boy, a real spark plug." "That's very nice to hear. I just was wondering, is the ball very hard?" "Well, no harder than any baseball." "I see. I've just been wondering, what if it hits Buster?" "Well, there's always some risk, but Buster's pretty quick, I'm sure." "And the baseball hats, are they made of wool?" "I think Buster's allergic to wool. If he's scratching, I don't think he'll be playing his best." "We'll watch for scratching." Coach Frensky glanced at the bleachers. "Now I'd recommend you find a seat. Bitsy, you don't want all the good ones to be taken." "Do the seats often fill for practice?" Coach Frensky hesitated. "You never know," he said. On the field, Arthur and Buster were throwing to each other as Francine approached. Buster held up an imaginary microphone in front of his mouth. "Excuse me, slugger. Buster here for Action News. Think you'll top your record of 49 sky balls today?" "Very funny," said Francine. "At least my throws go over the plate." "Take it easy," said Arthur. "You're both on the same team, remember?" "Stay out of this, Arthur," said Francine. "You need to concentrate all your attention onto holding onto the ball." "Oh, yeah?" Arthur put his hands on his hips, and the ball dropped out of his glove. Francine laughed and moved on into the field. You know what you need, Arthur," said Buster. "My never fail, always succeeds, 100% guaranteed secret good luck charm." He reached into his pocket and produced a shriveled carrot. Arthur made a face. "Use this and you can't miss," said Buster. He handed the carrot to Arthur. "You sure about this?" asked Arthur. 100% absolutely double sure guaranteed." "Okay," said Arthur, and he put it in his pocket. Okay, there's a picture of Arthur, Francine, and Buster. All during practice, Arthur fingered the good luck charm, but since no tough balls were hit to him, he couldn't be sure if it was working. When Francine came up to bat, he crouched down to be ready. Francine crushed the next pitch to the deep right field. Arthur ran back, watching it the whole way. "Watch the fence!" Buster yelled. Arthur stopped short and looked up. The ball was coming down. He reached out to catch it. The ball pounced off his glove and went over the fence. "Home run!" shouted Francine, rounding the bases. Arthur frowned. Later, Arthur returned the carrot to Buster. "Hey," he said, "I think it's broken, or maybe it's run out of luck." Then he walked away. Buster examined the carrot and shrugged. He took a bite and put the rest in his pocket. All right, so we're going to stop there because that's where Chapter 5 starts. All right, that was Chapter 3 and 4 of Arthur Makes a Team.